everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a review of some makeup brushes that were sent to me by a company called Bdellium Tools. They sent me 3 brushes from their Maestro series and 1 brush from their travel size series. When Bdellium Tools contacted me to send me some brushes to review, I was all over it because I like makeup brushes, and I already owned some of their brushes from their studio line, and I knew that they had good stuff, so I figured I may as well try some more of their other brushes that I don't have. That's basically the backstory. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So let's start off by talking about the Maestro series brushes. Their Maestro series is actually their, I guess, higher end series of all of the lines of brushes that they have. It is made with synthetic and natural fibers in the bristles, but they are all cruelty free. They don't hurt any animals in the process, and they do have vegan options. But the Maestro series does have natural and synthetic hairs on the brushes, and the handles are, as you can see, like a sleek black color. They have a silver, I believe this is pronounced ferrule, I don't know, it's silver. And they're basically very similar to their studio line, except that the studio line will have the signature yellow handles. Another pretty awesome characteristic of both the Maestro and the studio line brushes is that the bristles are treated with an antibacterial agent so that they, are resistant to bacteria and other things that tend to grow on your makeup brushes. Now that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be washing your brushes regularly, because you do want to maintain them, but it does have that little bit of extra protection. Alright, so the first brush that I'm going to talk about is the 766, which is the angled eyeshadow brush. And for being such a makeup brush hoarder as I am, I don't actually own very many angled eyeshadow brushes. I have one other one, and that's from Sigma, and I hardly ever use it, not because it's not a good brush, but because I just hardly ever think to reach for it. But since Bdellium sent me their angled eyeshadow brush and I was dutifully testing out the products they sent me, I was forced to get out of my comfort zone, reach for a different type of brush, and I've seen the error of my ways. Like, I really got into like this brush rut where I was always using the same brushes over and over again, and I just basically forgot how good an angled eyeshadow brush really can be at kind of getting that outer V to look really sharp, and also to just really contour, get right into the contour of the eye, and even to contour smaller areas of the face like the nose and stuff. The angled shape really fits well into the crevices of your face and the corners and the contours of your face, and the soft bristles blend everything out really well. It's one of those brushes that I used to think, ugh, you just use it for the outer V and nothing else. But while I was testing this out, because I've gained more experience applying my makeup over the years, I realized that, I could really use this for a lot more than just my eyeshadow. The bristles of the 766 feel soft on your skin, and they pick up color well, and because they're soft and fluffy, they'll also blend out the color really well. While I was using it, I didn't experience any shedding. Not even when I washed it, not one hair fell off, which is fantastic because nobody wants to have to pick makeup brush hair off of their face after they finish doing their makeup. Alright, so the next brush I want to talk about is the 785 from the Maestro series. As you can see, it is a fluffy blending brush, which, if you're not aware, blending brushes are basically my jam. You can bury me with my blending brushes because I love them that much. I'm gonna take them with me to the afterlife. So I was really excited to see that I'd gotten a blending brush, and then once the excitement kind of came down to a normal level and I could think like a human being, I realized, oh my gosh, I have the same brush in their Studio series line. And that made me slightly nervous because the 785 that I have from the Studio line is mildly scratchy on my eyelids, and I know that the Maestro and the Studio line both use the same bristles, so I was a little bit nervous, but I decided, you know what? Power through it, try it out. You've got to. This is in the name of science. You have to try. Let me alleviate your fears right now, because as I was testing this out, I was really pleasantly surprised to find that it was not scratchy at all. It was actually very soft. It felt very nice on my delicate little eyelids, and it blended out my makeup very, very well. But I do want to say this, I do own various other brushes from their studio line and none of them are scratchy. So other than that, it's basically the same as my Sigma E40. It is the same shape, the same fluffiness. It works exactly the same. Once I washed it, I think it lost maybe like 1 or 2 hairs, but I haven't experienced any shedding while I was actually using it on my face, and it hasn't shed ever again ever since, and it has been washed several times since the first time I washed it. Alright, moving on to the next brush, which is the 944, which is a face brush, and it is specifically designed for contouring. As you can see, it kind of looks like a larger version of a small blending brush, except as you can see, it's much more tapered, and it is the perfect shape for getting right into the hollows of your cheeks and blending out your contour. Now, I've never actually owned a makeup brush that is made specifically for contouring. When it came to doing my cheekbone contour, I tend to reach for a fan brush because I feel like the shape fits really well into the contours of your cheeks, and also because fan brushes just don't pick up as much product, and because they're usually pretty thin, I'm able to slowly build up a contour and simultaneously blend while I am doing it, and that way it keeps me from having, you know, a gigantic candy bar size splotch on the side of my face. So when I first got this brush, I was kind of curious. I was wondering how well it would work compared to a fan brush, which is normally my approach. And the answer is it works just as well, if not probably better, because the shape and the fluffiness of the brush is really, really good for blending. I feel like I blend my contour out a lot better when I'm using this brush. And just like a fan brush, it really helps me avoid the super fat contour stain on the face. As with all the other brushes so far, the bristles are soft and they don't scratch my face, and it really did very minimal shedding. I think maybe 2 hairs fell off while I was washing it, not while I was actually using it, and I haven't experienced any subsequent shedding since the first wash. Alright, and last but not least, we have the 990 Studio Travel Size brush. This one is their angled face brush. Now, their travel size collection is basically the exact same as their studio line collection, except the handles are shorter so that they're easier to travel with. Now, when I first saw the 990 angled face brush online, I thought it was going to be a lot smaller than this, but look at how gigantic this thing is. It is huge. It basically spans the width of my palm. But when I saw it online, I thought it was smaller, so I thought it was going to be great for contouring as well. But then I got it in the mail and it was so huge that I was intimidated. So I went back online to actually read how Bdellium Tools suggests that you use their brush, and they actually say that the 990 is perfectly suited for applying powder onto the face and also to brush away any excess makeup. So it's essentially like a large fan brush. And what I found is that the 990 works great as a powder brush. I never thought of an angled face brush as a powder brush. I don't know, I always thought of them for blush or contouring or other things, but never as just an all-over powder brush. The angled shape really does help you kind of brush powder on and really kind of follow the angles of your face. As you can see, it also doesn't pick up a lot of product, so when I swirl it on my face powder, I don't end up with an over powdered face. The bristles on this are super soft, so they feel really nice on the skin. If you are doing a smoky eye or something like that and you get fallout underneath the eye, like look how perfectly it fits underneath, and you can just swipe it away. So once I learned that it doesn't pick up, you know, because it's so big, that it doesn't pick up so much product, I started to try to use it for contouring, and I did find it fits very easily into the contours of my cheek, and you can just kind of blend it up like that. And it worked really well for, you know, building up a cheekbone contour. I also like it for highlighting. I just kind of lightly tap it onto a powder highlighter and just kind of tap it onto the high points of my cheeks. As I mentioned, the bristles are super soft. They feel really nice on the skin, and the brush washes really well. It retains its shape, and it didn't really shed very much. Maybe I lost a hair, maybe two, when I was washing it, but nothing significant and nothing afterwards in subsequent washes or even while I was using the brush. Alright, so all in all, I'm really pleased with my experience using Bdellium Tools products. I was a fan of the brand before they even reached out to me to ask me to review their products, and the brushes that they sent me either met the already high expectations that I had and in some cases surpassed them. If you're in the market for good quality professional makeup tools in the mid-range price range, definitely give Bdellium Tools a try. You can check out their website, which is linked below. And right now, for a limited time, they are offering free shipping on purchases of $20 or more. Thanks so much for watching my review, and until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Bye!